Oh my God. I got some bad news. Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn says that Terence Crawford is not being promoted in the best way. Now, you guys see on the screen, I have presented it for you. There's an article that says, and I quote, Eddie Hearn says that Terence Crawford is not being promoted in the right way. So I'm going to get into Eddie Hearn's comments. And this is right before Terence Crawford's fight, of course, with Israel Madrimov. Eddie Hearn, who promotes Madrimov, says, quote, to be honest with you, I really, really like Terence Crawford. He's got such a good heart. He's such a good person. He's a winner. But Eddie Hearn did not use this to like cloud his judgment, I guess you could say. And he's saying that basically Terence Crawford's positioning, I guess you could say, in the world of boxing is concerning because he's dealt with, at least on the UK side of things, he knows like Anthony Joshua is a big name and a big star, blah, blah, blah. So he's wondering why Terence Crawford probably isn't bigger in America. He says, quote, one of the problems in boxing in America is the public doesn't get an opportunity to see what the individual is like and feel if people got to see Terence Crawford and what he stood for, the way he lives, his life, the way he works, the way he respects the game, and the way he raises his kids in their athletics and wrestling, that should be championed. I don't really understand why in your country you don't champion him more. Obviously, people aren't promoting him the right way. Boom. People aren't promoting him the right way. People aren't pushing him. If I promoted Terence Crawford, I'd want all of America to know this guy, and I think you'd love him. We love him in boxing. He's still a star, but I just feel like he's not a crossover star. I love my job. This is Eddie Hearn saying it. Just because he's not screaming, swearing, shouting, he's a role model, right? I know he's a big favorite and Madrimov is up against it, but I promise you he's so up for this. This is such a dangerous fight. If I were promoting Terence Crawford, I'd be issuing myself right now over this fight, looking at Israel Madrimov and going, me, this dude is for real. But Terence Crawford is brilliant. It's very hard to beat, right? So I'm going to leave right there because he started trailing off about the fight, and I've already given you my thoughts. I think it should be a good fight, things like that. But the reality is Boxing Ego, the great Ego Stradamus, strikes again. The best in the business, and it's not even close. I keep telling you, I'm that dude. I'm him in this sport of boxing. People get mad at what I say, but then you keep hearing this echo chamber after I say it on my channel. See, the thing is, I don't wait for nobody. I don't even wait for the doctor at the doctor's office. I don't wait. So in the words of Tupac Shakur, my big mouth. I speak from the heart, I'm real. I speak from the heart, I'm real. And I guarantee I will spark the brain, right? So with that being said, I don't wait. I don't wait around and see, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but hey, sometimes you got to. The difference between me and other men is a lot of men don't act like men, in my honest opinion. They got like beta male traits and things like that. So I was always taught to stand on business, stand on what you believe in. And if I feel it and I have ways to support it, then, we rock it with that. I don't need to hear from the maddening crowd and wait for people to agree or disagree, and I think that's where a lot of people get it confused in this online internet space is people think that you have to agree or disagree or they care too much and they be reading. I don't even read my comments half the time. I'm so busy with other stuff and I put it in the atmosphere. I say what I said. It feels good. This is therapeutic for me. I love boxing. Boxing has changed my life. So at the end of the day, it's therapeutic to get it off my chest, talk to my people. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, listen again, change your station. I don't really care. But everything I said, if I said it, I meant it. And I told you there's a disconnect with Terence Crawford. Great fighter. People get mad at what I'm saying, but the proof is in the pudding. And now you have a boxing promoter who's basically mirroring everything that I've said about Terence Crawford. You can be a beta male and be all in your feelings, but I believe in facts over feelings. Terence Crawford, for whatever reason, the people, they're not resonating with Terence Crawford the same. I think it was a weird choice to put Terence Crawford in California. I think I'm not the organizer, I'm not the promoter, but I'm just giving you my opinion on my channel. I truly think they believed that Terence Crawford being the main event with a star-studded like undercard, that in essence, a lot of those matchups or some of the matchups are even better than the main event, at least to me, right? They thought that would be enough to get people to gravitate and resonate. But the fact that you put Crawford Madrimov as the main event, I really believe it stifled this particular card. Pitbull Cruz, look at him in the crowd. Everybody's like getting his autograph, and Pitbull Cruz seems like he has a lot of fanfare, and he's Mexican, and he's fighting a Mexican-American in Jose El Rayo Valenzuela. So I feel like if you were to lead with that, you know what I mean? If you lead with that fight in LA particularly, it would have probably been more anticipation. But Turkey Al-Sheikh, His Excellency, or Riyadh Season, or Eddie Hearn, or whoever, it's in their mind to lead with Crawford. And then Eddie Hearn's telling you right here, he's like, Crawford, he's a good dude. People should be championing him, but he's not a crossover star. And the thing is, Crawford keeps saying stuff like it's the Terence Crawford era. We heard Devin Haney say that. Devin Haney in December said him and Bill Haney said it's the Devin Haney era. And then that lasted 6 months before the Ryan Garcia fight. And now you haven't even really heard too much from Devin Haney. So at the end of the day, what I'm noticing is a lot of people are saying these things, but it's easier said than done. Creating a star is not easy. It's a process. And Terence Crawford, in my opinion, didn't go through the normal trajectory of someone like Floyd Mayweather is a perfect example. He went through the pretty boy Floyd stages where people just flat out respected his arsenal. Classic performances with the late Arturo Gatti. You know, that's one of my favorite fights to watch. Classic performances, Diego Corrales, Gennaro Hernandez, Emmanuel Burton, Emmanuel Augustus. He just has so many classics where at the end of the day, Floyd Mayweather is that dude. And before he became the crossover by beating Oscar De La Hoya in the Cash Cow and Money Mayweather, he already had this whole run. Terence Crawford, he was really fighting, you know, Gamboa, but that wasn't really Gamboa's weight class. For real, for real. Gamboa was like more so a featherweight, and he fought him at lightweight. And Gamboa at that point, because I remember when Gamboa first came out, they were saying that Gamboa was baby Mike Tyson, but that was in the lighter weight classes. At lightweight, I believe he got dropped a fight or two before he fought Crawford, right? And that was a good fight. It was a classic fight. I love that fight. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Crawford fight. But, you know, the likes of Ray Beltran and Ricky Burns, these aren't star build type of fights. And you match that with Crawford's personality and his almost like his energy towards media. Like he don't want to interview with certain people and stuff like that. And it's funny to me as someone in the media, you don't have to interview with me, because if you notice on my channel, people come for me. They want to hear BOXINGEGO's thoughts. I don't have to do another interview as long as I have a channel. I make full-time living and income just off that. So ain't nobody got, and I love that I structured my channel like this, you know, and it played out this way for me, because I'm not going to be beholden to any fighter where I can't say my honest opinion. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like me. I respect you as a fighter. You can respect me as a man, you know, even if we agree to disagree or whatever. That's business. You got to be professional. I never talk about these people, you know, when I'm doing these boxing takes. I don't talk about their mamas and their family and stuff. That's not me, because I wasn't raised like that to, you know, make it personal. And it's not personal for me. It's always business. It's never nothing personal. I am the Nino Brown of boxing. So when I say these things, people are like, oh, you hate Crawford and say I'm being malicious. It's none of that. How come it can't just be facts or facts? And the reality is Crawford isn't a crossover star. When I said it, you guys had a problem with it. Eddie Hearn saying it, so now you got to deal with it. So once again, you guys sound idiotic because you continue to go against Boxing Ego, say I'm wrong in everything that I say, everything that I do, but over time, I just keep getting proven right. And I think the ticket sales, check out my past video about that, is an indication. They're dropping the prices. Imagine if this same undercard was given to Canelo Alvarez versus Berlanga. And Canelo Berlanga is not this massively requested fight, but Canelo is Canelo, and he's in there with the puncher. And then if you load up the undercard like Crawford was given, like Crawford's been given every opportunity to succeed with Riyadh season by being and getting like a better undercard than mostly anyone in the boxing. But Gervonta Davis, he's fighting with David Benavidez. The undercard is nowhere near this, but then the energy felt like a big fight. A lot of stars and celebrities turned out. For Crawford, I think people respect him. I know people respect him, but it's just not all the way clicking for whatever reason. And I think there's multiple things. People don't want to address the elephant in the room. Part of this is Crawford. Decisions he's made. People want there to be no accountability in boxing. I don't believe in that. Crawford made certain decisions which got his career to where it's at. The Errol Spence fight was the first fight where people were like, okay, that's good, but you're also 36. You'll be 37 next month. So you're 36 going on 37, and you're saying it's the Terence Crawford era. Most people, like Floyd Mayweather, who went, as I said earlier, Pretty Boy Floyd, stage all the way to Money Mayweather, the crossover of becoming really relevant usually happens before almost 40, 37. That's like a rapper coming out like 36, 37, and then now he's just taking over the rap game. And people didn't really know you or know your brand like that. It's a little bit late in the game, especially when there might be a different sound or younger artists that the younger crowd and TikTokers are resonating with, things like that. So again, we'll see what happens with Crawford's career. It starts with Madrimov fight. We'll see how, what the turnout is. But I know for a fact that ticket prices are being slashed and things like that. And Eddie Hearn is saying some things that I agree with. But one thing that he did say is that Terence Crawford, basically he's a likable person. I don't doubt that. But he says one of the problems in boxing in America is that the public doesn't get an opportunity to see who the individual is like. Crawford wants to be his own boss and not have an actual dedicated promoter. So Eddie Hearn is way off the mark right there because people are resonating with Gervonta Davis just fine. Gervonta Davis, he's not doing 1,000 interviews, but he's connecting. So it's not a problem in America. This is an isolated instance because there's other people. People are checking for Kermel Moton and he's 16, 17 and people are already starting. That's the thing. Crawford is late in the game and trying to get his buzz up and his wave up versus there's other people like, again, Kermel Moton, and people are watching for him.